So now I'm going to show you 3 examples of how we've used it in different ways. So the first example is, like I've explained, one big project, lots of data, where we're basically going one-to-one. We're taking one big report, launching it in the background. Sometimes these reports are launched at 2 a.m. and then they spit out at 2 p.m. the next day or something. It just depends on how the system is running and all. Well, 2 p.m. is kind of long, but it might take a while to generate that report in SAP. That's the longest time. And then when it gets to Compleo, it goes pretty good. So we had one-to-one. That was one report, massive amounts of data. That saved us time. Now we have reports where we don't want the users sending, like we have 300 company codes. And at least, well, we actually have like 1,500, but often we'll run on 300. So we don't want the users launching one report for every 300 or 1,500 company codes, which is what we had people in India doing. We wanted to just launch a few selection variants. So we would group our company codes by maybe region or something like that, and we'd send them over to Compleo, and Compleo would slice it up by company code and then deliver it to share drives, or we can actually email it, depending on how we set it up. So that was our one-to-many, where we would send one big report and slice and dice it into multiple accountability. Different people have different budgets and so forth to monitor. So again, it just kind of shows that it took the users about 10-15 minutes per company code report times 300 company codes to run these reports. So it was saving like 50 to 75 hours of their time. And that just comes right off the best cost reduction in my mind, because now your people are doing what you're paying them to do, which is analyze. So the other thing is that, when you schedule these things, SM36 or whatever, or you schedule them when you run them, that helps too, because you can pre-schedule them in the middle of the night to run, go over to Compleo, and then you come in the morning, put your coffee cup down, and you're ready to go to work. So that's the beauty of it all. Okay, so now we had one-to-one, one-to-many. Then we had this challenge of billing in SAP. So I don't know how many of you have seen an SAP cover sheet for billing, but it stinks. A lot of people will print them in PDFs and they look kind of ugly. Most people, and we were finding our people, were pulling them into Excel and printing them out into a pretty little Excel and attaching logos and attaching contact information and things like that. So we sat down with this internal customer, and we said, how can we do this? And we used 2 products of Compleo suite. We used the Compleo Explorer, which Explorer is designed to output into Excel, which is the one we use the most often. And Layout is the module that outputs into other formats like PDF, and you can get a little prettier and fancier. So we took the report, and these were small reports for billing. We took them and put them into Compleo Explorer and just outputted them into like an Excel format, actually like a text, kind of what we call a spool fragment. And then we took that and put it into Layout, and that allowed us to really make it customized for our internal client. So this is what we started with. This is a custom report that Fluor designed specifically for billing our labor and our expenses, and we use it for invoice backup. That report is very columnar. We took it and developed it through those 2 modules from Symtrax. We developed it into this final cover sheet. And a lot of this data has been added by query variables based on an access database that sits off to the side that says, okay, if this is WBS, it's all driven on WBS, which is our work breakdown structure. If this is WBSX, then the contact information, like contact or the check, deliver this check here or pay here, all that information is driven onto the invoice from the WBS based on the purchase order can go there as well. So again, this was taking these guys, they were, before we used Compleo, they were running the report. That took time. They were downloading it. They were copying and pasting it into an Excel existing worksheet, saving it off, reconciling it back to SAP, prettying it up, and all of that. And now they just love it. They tell everybody how much they love Compleo because they just launch the background report and they go off and get a cup of coffee and they come back and their stuff is ready to go. They can send it, they just review it, reconcile it, send it off to their customers. And again, it's just such a time saver. So anyway, that's really what I wanted to share with you is how we used it just for reporting. When Symtrax, I always feel like they also have this product that does so much more. And now that I've been able to train some more people on how to set up these Compleo solutions in our company, I'm able to sit back and get more involved in some of the other modules and using the modules that we have a little bit more by just looking to see what other opportunities do we have to use this product. And I'm finding that by using their automation tool, you can supervise a folder to empty out a folder if you want. They have archiving functionality, like if you send your invoices off, they go into archive mode. There's a lot of other things. With Fluor, we already have some of these things in place, so we've not adopted them, but we can see the possibilities. So that's what, I just wanted to present.